We just removed this switch that we showed you how to put on now, and we're ready to show you how to wire a receptacle. And there's some things I want to tell you about electrical wires right now so that you'll know. There's a lot of things about a receptacle that you can tell which is the hot and which is the neutral and which is the let me see if I have my tester here. I do have. All right. This will test to see if this is wired correctly. And if it is wired correctly, it means that the lighter colored screws are going to be for the white wire for the neutral. That's this white wire right here, okay? Or this white wire right here. The narrower slot is for the hot. Now you'd think that they'd want more space for the hot than for the neutral. But what you find is that if you have a regular three-prong plug-in that's going into a fixture, that the neutral prong here will be wider. You can't mix it up some way and get it confused. It has to go in there. The reason for that is that it's like on an electric stove. The reason that the burner gets hot is because there's more resistivity in the element than there is of the current flowing through it, and it takes it a while to, it's restrictive, and so it causes it to heat up. That's how you heat those units on your electric stove. You don't want a wire in a receptacle to heat up, so you want to have the wire to be able to escape back to the breaker box freely. So you don't want that to be a small traveling line or a small connection in whatever you're plugging in. So that's how they design these. So you always have the larger one is for the neutral wire going back to the box. This is the hot wires coming to this receptacle. Now I can, if I want to make this, if I had two other lines coming in here that were hot, and I wanted to just make this a dedicated top part or a dedicated bottom part, I would take my pliers and I would break this little clip that's right. I won't do it today, but I will show you what you can do. You can just get a hold of this little bar right here, and I can snap it out of there. When I do, that keeps the hot from traveling from one side to the other, okay? But in this case, what we're doing, we're using this receptacle to travel the electricity to another location of a receptacle. So we're having one hot wire lead coming into this receptacle with one neutral, and then we're having a hot wire lead with another neutral coming off the other side to carry on down the wall so we can series these instead of just having one. All right? So I'm going to hook this up properly. I told you that you have to have a you want these wires to go on so that you screw them on in this fashion. So I'm going to grip this. I'll turn this just a little bit. I guess you can see it. I want to get that wire right down inside there, like that, so I have full connection. And we'll do the other hot the same way. We'll put him on there. Move it. I think I need to open that one up just a little bit more. There. Get that wire down in there. Now both wires are in there in good shape. And I'll crimp it together a little bit here underneath the screw so I get full connection. And the color of these wires tell you what the hot is. The gold colored or the bronze colored, that's where the hot wires go all the time, so you won't get confused. If you look at the other side of this switch, I'll show you in a minute, and you'll see that the wires are a light color, and so you can think of that as for the white wires, for the neutral. And that's how you properly wire up a switch. So we got the darker colored screws, and we got the lighter colored screws. So now I'm going to make a cane fitting on the end of each one of these. there. I don't like that. I'm going to take a little more of this insulation off, because it looks to me like that is going to interfere with that connection on the screw. So I'm going to take a little bit of this off of here. Yeah, that'll be better. I'm going to do the same thing on this other one right here beside it. There, that'll make a better connection. Ready to put this side on, the neutral side. So we're going to crimp that. And I'm going to put the other one on the same way. Probably have to open that cane just a little bit. Get that started down in there. There we are. Now we can tighten those up. And we got, again, full surface contact with those wires. We didn't cross them over on top of each other to have a pinpoint connection. We made full surface contact with the screw and the other wire. Now, because it's easier to put one wire on here than two of these for the green ground, remember ground and green, and this is bare, there's never supposed to be any current through this. That's why it's not insulated like the others are with insulation around them for the white and the black. It's always, even in here, you can see it's just bare with paper around it. It stays like that. The only time that this would ever have any current run through it is if one of these wires touched this bracket some way, or something connected this to the bracket, and it made this bracket hot. Then this would immediately, this is part of the bracket, this little bar goes up in there and it's part of this. So it would immediately take it back to the breaker, the circuit breaker, and the breaker would trip and save you from getting shocked. You'd have to find out why there was a connection like that, and you'd have to correct that problem of why that was grounding out. Maybe some of the insulation was cut back too far, and it just got to, they didn't put the wires in. They shoved this in, and the wires came over and touched one of these brackets some way. So that's what you do. Now, I'm going to, I had here it is. This is what they call a pigtail. I'm going to do a pigtail. This is the pigtail. Like, supposedly looks like it's off of a hog, you know, with a curly tail or something. And we're gonna put these 3 wires together here. Right inside this yellow wire nut. And the wire yellow nut has threads inside the center part of it. I will show you that here in just a second. Now it seems like those are on there pretty tight. I always like to have them good and tight for the connection. All right, now that gives me a pigtail to use here in connecting this bare wire onto the ground screw that's on the receptacle. So I'm going to turn this again. And we will put this down in here on this. Again, I'm trying to get a pretty full service connection on that screw to my bare copper wire. So anything that's bare is not supposed to have electricity to it. It's a safety ground in case that your fixture has the power side. Touch it and it's got power on it. Okay, now that we've done that, then we're going to put this back down inside the box here. Just kind of pull those wires over and get them down inside. That's pretty close. And attach these screws. I have power drills that put these on a lot faster, but in case you don't, I'm showing you the old way you use the hand tool to get them screwed down in here. This is a Phillips screwdriver. It means it has 4 edges in there, and these screws are slotted with 4 little depression parts for that screwdriver to go into it. Looks like we're about to get it down where it belongs. I'm going to pull that to the center of the box. Not that much to center. Not like that. And this looks like it's pretty close to center. That. Okay, now we got that part on. Now all we have to do is put the cover on. So the cover sits on like that. And you take a screw right here in the middle. Oops. That takes that straight slot screwdriver again. Tighten that, put it straight across. There you are. So now this is ready to be used as a plug-in. I think I can even take my tester. I could plug this in here, and by the lights here, it would tell me whether I had an open neutral, or an open hot, or an open ground, or if these two light on just turn on here, it means it's correct. And in this case, it would have lit those two. This has been a pleasure showing you how you do these two things. We showed you how you wire a switch. We showed you how you wire a receptacle today. So hope you've enjoyed this and that you've learned something from it. Thank you so much.